This game wrap is brought to you by Tony and Ted Bonilla with Bonilla and Chapa Attorneys at Law. Service from the pros with years of experience. They are a proud supporter of Beeville Jones Athletics. And by... Hi everyone, Mr. Bowtie here. Thank you so much for checking out my content and my channel. Now make sure you bang home that red subscribe button on YouTube so that way you can stay up to date on the latest content from around the area that you won't find anywhere else. And follow me on Twitter at Mr. Bowtie 1982. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. Despite months of uncertainty, the UIL Centennial season started on time, albeit with a lot of games postponed and rescheduled. That included a matchup between former district mates Beeville Jones and Boerne High. The Greyhounds came in having won 6 straight season openers, while Beeville had won 4 straight Week 1 games. The teams split a pair of district matchups the last 2 years, with the road team winning each matchup. The teams weren't scheduled to play each other, but because 5A moved their season back by a month, these two teams needed a date, and they decided to love connect. The Trojans suited up only 36 players on a young roster that is now in district with 5A drop-down Cal Allen. Before the game, Beeville honored sophomore Gilbert Deuce Herrera, who passed away during the off-season. Friday night's game would have been his varsity debut.
That kid that we lost was such a light in the community, and it's really hard knowing that he would have been out here, you know, smiling, cheering us on. We just hope that we can make him proud up there.
He's not here today. He'll never get the chance to play varsity football, so you gotta play for a brother, play like he's on the field.
Best wishes to the Beeville community. That is the Boerne bench, and that's not a Boerne Greyhound, but instead a Boerne Toad. That's the turnover toad. That's Boerne's answer to Miami's turnover chain. We'll get to him in a bit. Rashawn Galloway at quarterback back for his junior season. He had an outstanding sophomore campaign in 2019, and his junior year started off just as well, although it was senior Matt Mahalik who was ready for the opening bell. Literally. Opening kickoff to the decade, and Mahalik didn't waste any time. Ran over 2 Trojan players, and he returned the kickoff into opponent territory. He had a huge opening drive. Including the return, he accounted for 63 yards and 2 first downs and a lot of run over Trojans. Greyhounds would eventually score on their opening possession of the decade. They lead 7-0. He didn't score the first touchdown of the decade, but he did score the second. 3rd and goal from the 15, Galloway found him in an open area, and he ran over another player in white for the touchdown, strike up the band 14-0 Greyhounds.
We had some players we lost, but like you said, we've been waiting 6 months to play. We had a chip on our shoulder, and we came out here and got after it.
I mentioned the turnover toad earlier, and it must have been more powerful than one of those old Beanie Babies. First quarter was a nightmare for the Trojans, no first downs, and then on a 4th down, the snap went over punter Victor Gonzalez's head. All he could do was eat the play. Not officially a turnover, but it led to another score, and the Kendall County team led 21-0 after the first quarter. Kendall County, known for all their great hill country style sunsets. Unfortunately, the sun set early on Beeville Jones's chances at their 5th straight season opening win. Second quarter, Beeville facing 4th and 1 at their own 43. Head coach Chris Sosa went for it, but Boerne able to penetrate into the backfield to make the stop and force a turnover on downs.
Our main goal was to shut down number 1, which I sat on him the whole game, and we pretty much did that. And if we had our whole D-line, which is me, Hambone, John Warden, and Colton Patrick, if we shut them down, we knew we were going to win the game. That's exactly what we came out and did.
Our D-line really stepped up in our secondary. They covered them well, and couldn't ask for a better D-line.
Ensuing possession, Galloway, he looked like he was in state championship form. Threw a 30-yard touchdown pass to Cam Johnson, 28-0 Greyhounds at halftime. He ended the game 13 of 14 for 178 yards and 2 touchdowns.
We have a really young team, and we really underestimated these guys. We watched film against Canyon Lake, a very similar team, and, you know, I guess we thought our britches were bigger than they actually were.
Beeville only had 46 first-half yards, but finally got their feet underneath of them in the second half. Let's take a look at some good plays from them, brought to you by Tony and Ted Bonilla with Bonilla and Chapa Attorneys at Law. Service from the pros with years of experience, and they proudly support Beeville Jones Athletics. Ambrose 80 Patton came from a blindside blitz, hit the quarterback, knocked the ball out, and it was recovered by Dylan Farias. Drive spilled over into the fourth quarter where Leroy Gonzalez beat the defender to the goal line for the score to get the Trojans on the board. Joseph Chapa broke a couple of tackles on the final offensive play of the night for Beeville, and he scored the touchdown. Those plays brought to you by Tony and Ted Bonilla, with Bonilla and Chapa attorneys at law, service from the pros, and they proudly support Beeville Jones Athletics. Boerne only allowed 168 yards of total offense after giving up 429 in the 2019 meeting. Too many short fields and that turnover toad for the Greyhounds more than enough as they beat Beeville Jones 42-13, now 7 straight season opening wins for the Greyhounds. Because of social distancing, instead of shaking hands after the match, the teams went to the hash marks and waved.
Last year they came out and they kicked our butts, but we knew we had to come back with a chip on our shoulder, as Coach Hendricks said all week, and we knew if we came back out here that we'd just get them.
The turnover toad, tell me about your best friend.
We were kind of skeptical because we didn't tell Coach Hendricks about it till we were walking out on the field today. So our goal was that we have to have something like Miami that had the turnover chain, and we knew if we brought this, it was going to bring a whole different mindset to the game today.
We can't be a second half team. We got to pick it up in the first. We can't slack. We can't let them just pick up the lead, then we play catch up.
By the way, Boerne Scott Hetty accounted for 2 touchdowns and 6 PATs for a total of 18 points. Reporting from Kendall County, I'm Greg Sherman.